Welcome back to Hockey Talks. I am Carl. That is Dave there.
Before we get too far into this, I got a question for you.
Okay.
How many players do you think are still on Boston Bruins Stanley Cup winning team in 2010-2011?
I'm going to guess 0.
None.
Yeah.
The last
Brad
one.
Marchand was the last one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And where'd he go?
Florida.
Yes.
Yeah, he went to the Florida Panthers of all places. Did you expect
He'll
that?
fit in. I
I
never would have expected Marchand to leave Boston, to be honest.
No, I don't think he actually wanted to either, right?
Yeah.
He said multiple times that he wanted to stay, right? And he was going to even alter his contract so they could stay. But that clearly didn't happen.
Yeah.
He was emotional talking about it in his press conference, I guess, with Florida Panthers, his first one. But explaining how, he would have liked to stay in Boston, but he spent 16 years there. And just like that, all of a sudden he was a Florida Panther.
Yeah.
So how the trade broke down was Brad Marchand traded to the Florida Panthers for a conditional pick. The pick is a 2027 second round that turns into either a 2027 or a 2028 first round choice.
Very nice.
If Florida wins 2 playoff games and Brad Marchand plays
2 playoff rounds.
2 playoff rounds. Yeah. Sorry, 2 playoff rounds. And if Brad Marchand plays 50% of those games at least.
Yeah.
Right. So
wouldn't that be funny to see them pull Marchand? You know.
Yeah.
Just so he doesn't play half.
Just so he can't give up the first round, right?
Yeah.
No, I think he's going to play. He's going to try to play it. He's injured currently.
Yeah.
Supposedly going to be back before the playoffs, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Maybe they'll keep him off and sign somebody. Oh, they can't sign somebody else right now. Trade deadline's fast.
Maybe they'd take Rantanen.
Yeah, Florida, yeah. Yeah, they may as well. They're going to win another cup this year again.
Oh, you think so?
Well,
okay, we'll see.
Come close.
We'll see.
They're going to come close. But, so Brad Marchand is no longer with the Boston Bruins, which shocked a lot of people.
Yes.
I mean, there was something in the works. People talking about it, maybe not something in the works, but people talking about it. And, all of a sudden it just happened, which is probably the biggest trade that probably happened in this NHL trade deadline.
Yeah.
But, along with sticking with the Bruins were on a selling mode. Got rid of Brad Marchand. They also got rid of Brandon Carlo, who they sent to the Leafs for
Heck yeah.
Fraser Minton.
Okay.
Yeah, who was a high prospect for the Leafs, and he played more than a handful of games, and I think he did pretty well. Mm-hmm. He jumped back and forth between here and the Saskatoon Blades, which he played for the full season. They did pretty well there with him as well. And even this year, he played probably a handful of games with the Leafs, in and out of the lineup, right, bouncing back between the AHL and the NHL.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Bruins acquired Fraser Minton and a first-round pick in 2026.
Okay.
For Brandon Carlo.
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic defenseman, right?
Yeah.
I think he's going to fit in really well, especially with Chris Tanev. But when he's back, I think those two duo alone will put that Leafs defense above a lot of teams in the NHL right now.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of what it looks like the coach is trying to rebuild, as we've talked about so many times. It seems like, I think it was a couple weeks ago we talked about their shot patterns and why they're not shooting from the same positions that they usually shoot from in the regular season. And it's because he's prepping the team for playoff-style goals. He's prepping them to shoot from the line through traffic over top of trying to carry it into the traffic. And that in conjunction, or at the same time, with getting a good goaltender that you can rely on, as well as a good defense that can clear the rebounds. It's shaping up pretty good. And personally, as a Leafs fan, I'm just trying not to watch the games right now because they get a little too intense. Because honestly, dude, the playoffs have come early. I don't know if we've all been watching, but there is a lot of really close battles going on.
Oh, yeah.
And it has been fantastic hockey.
Yeah. Well, the Leafs are shaping up to be a really, really good team.
A well-rounded team.
Very well-rounded. You compare it to even last year to this year. They have a good goalie in Stolarz, right? And Wall in the background, right? As backup goalie. They brought in Brandon Tanev. They brought in Brandon Carlo now. They have Oliver Ekman-Larsson on the back end.
Yeah.
Morgan Riley, like their defense is rock solid.
Yep.
Their offense, too, high power offense. Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, who's been playing fantastic.
Yeah.
Since he got back from Four Nations. And I think he got refueled again because did you hear the news that there's rumblings that they wanted to trade Marner for Rantanen?
Oh!
And Marner said he was unwilling to waive his no trade clause.
So he wants
they
to be
couldn't
there.
do it.
Yeah.
So they couldn't do it. But then that got him pretty upset because, that they wanted to get him out of Toronto and he doesn't want to leave, right? So they denied it. And so I think he got some fuel from that too. But he's playing some really good hockey right now. He's scored a lot of good goals.
And this is the unknown factor, right? It's like the X factor, if you must, The Four Nations Cup, what it did to a lot of these players, especially the winning ones, well, I guess the losing ones too, it gave them some, like a pre-loss, to kind of shake you a little bit and realize that you're not really here for that. You're here for the Stanley Cup. But for the winning team, like I'm thinking the McDavid, right?
Yeah.
It must have felt good to overcome all that stuff and walk out a champion.
Yeah.
And we'd be lying if we said that didn't impact the players going into the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they're going to be, they know now what it takes and how to play to that next level. Not saying that they didn't before, but there's a reason why people are playing so hard right now, and it's just going to carry into the playoffs, and people are going to start out playing really, really hard so that they can get that extended break. And I think there's certain players that we're going to see it impact, especially the Marners and the McDavids, the ones who really impacted the outcome of the games.
Yep.
But then you also have the Kachucks, where he's leading Ottawa back into the playoffs now. They're in a playoff spot now.
Yeah.
So it's really, really interesting to see the effects of playing for your own nation and being the ripple effect.
It motivates you, right?
Yeah.
It motivates you. That Four Nations Cup, I think, was the best thing the NHL could have done.
Yeah.
The best thing they have done in the last how many years? Like the 9 years or whatever. They haven't had best on best competition. And it turned out fantastic. And the players loved it. And they got so much motivation from it. Like, look at Brady Tkachuk, man.
Yeah.
Like, he's been playing outstanding for the Ottawa Senators. We'll get into the Ottawa Senators here a little bit later, but like the Chucks, like it's a fantastic time to watch hockey right now.
Yeah,
we have so many stars that have just like upped their game this year, and especially around this time.
Yeah.
And everything so close in the playoff race, it's really exciting right now to watch everything unfold.
Exactly.
Excited to see Brad Marchand in the Florida Panthers jersey. We'll see if they put the rat line together.
Yeah.
Of Aaron Ekblad and
Kachuk.
Matthew Tkachuk.
Yeah.
Although all those guys are out right now. But continue on here. With the trades while we're into it. We mentioned Rantanen. He got traded as well from the Carolina Hurricanes. Guess where he went?
Ooh, I don't know.
Dallas Stars. Let's just say you know that already.
I had one thing I wanted to say, and that's what was going through my mind.
Yeah.
Is Carolina is actually offering anybody who bought a Carolina jersey with Rantanen on the back of it a free name change. So to all you Carolina fans watching this video who bought a Rantanen jersey, you can get the name changed if you're still a fan of the team.
Did anybody think Rantanen was actually going to stay there? I personally didn't.
I had no idea.
I personally did not. You could see, like, when Rantanen got traded, that he did not want to go. He was disgusted by the trade and was pretty much blindsided by the trade. He pretty much made.
You don't want to live in Carolina.
I don't think he really even wanted to be there. Rod Brendamore actually brought that up. That he was like, I don't think he wanted to be there. He only wanted a list of 4 teams that he really wanted to go to, and Carolina was not one of them. He brought up also that maybe the team should have known this before they traded for Rantanen from Colorado, but I don't know. It's clearly didn't want to. They traded him. They got Logan Stankoven, which has been a really good forward, right, since he's coming to the NHL for Dallas Stars, and he's made an impact already for Carolina. So they traded him for Logan Stankoven and a conditional first-round pick in both 2026 and 2028.
Oh.
And a third-round pick in 2026 and 2027. So
that's a handful of stuff.
Yeah, a pretty good load for Mikko Rantanen, which is fair.
It's a weird choice of words, but yeah.
Pretty good load, yeah. Pretty good haul, maybe.
There you go.
That's a better word. I'll work on that. So, yeah, they got a pretty good return. There we go. They got a pretty good return for Rantanen, which is... Rantanen's a really good player, right?
Yeah.
And he seems to be shining on Dallas Stars right now. Somewhere where he kind of want to be. But he also made a comment that he wouldn't have mind going to Edmonton. Clearly that deal didn't fall through or nothing happened there. But he mentioned that he would want to go to Edmonton.
That would be interesting.
Yeah. Instead, the Edmonton Oilers did almost nothing.
Wow,
Penny Oilers.
Wow.
Yeah, where's that button?
Yeah.
That we need to put. Edmonton Oilers.
Who needs a button?
One solo trade, and I think that was just before the deadline.
Yeah.
Was to acquire Jake Wallman from the San Jose Sharks for a conditional first round pick. A first round pick for Wallman. Well, he's a good player, right?
San Jose has a first round pick now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one for San Jose.
That was a good deal for San Jose, I think.
Especially with what they all got going on right now. Like, good for them.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if Jake Wallman was a first-round pick kind of a guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really good. He's been good for the Oilers, but...
So what does that mean then? Is Edmonton going to be... Well, obviously they're making a push, but you think this is... Yeah.
Trying to get a goalie.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
They were like, they said they wanted to... They have faith in their goalies right now, in Stuart Skinner and Cal Pickard. So...
And you know what, though? You know what? It very well could work out for him. You never really know.
You never know.
The playoffs can really make these goaltenders' careers.
Well, look at Stuart Skinner last year. Although I feel like that was just a career year for Stuart Skinner in the playoffs. Career playoff year, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Which they call them career years for a reason. You have usually one of them.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you're Brodeur. Yeah, just like Hammond. But no, Brodeur's had a few of them, and it's we'll see what happens. I don't know if Skinner's Brodeur, but
Brodeur's won cups.
Yeah,
with New Jersey, so he had more than a career year.
Yeah, he had more than a career. Yeah,
but they have all their faith in Stuart Skinner right now.
We'll see how it goes.
And Jake Wallman apparently.
Yep.
So,
and if you missed the episode about AI, they're actually predicting. I think it was a Carolina Edmonton Stanley Cup final, and Edmonton would take the cup. That's what AI says, and we'll update that in a couple weeks here. I'll do it all again and see if there's any updates or what it thinks.
Carolina Edmonton, I don't see that.
I don't either. But then again, how often do I get it right?
Well, you know what? AI could be right. I don't think they will be. I think the Florida Panthers might be back in there.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you look at who's in the East, I mean, Toronto looks pretty good now. But they got to prove it. Florida has last year.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Toronto can actually prove it.
Yeah.
But, Florida, I think, can make another strong push. But, as we talked about Florida before, Marchand coming in there.
Yeah.
And like I said, it would be fun to see the rat line, which is Matthew Tkachuk, Brad Marchand, and Aaron Ekblad. But all of those guys are out right now. Matthew Tkachuk and Brad Marchand are both injured right now. There's Matthew Tkachuk, I don't think is coming back until the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think that was the goal, and I think that's the way it's going to go. Marchand, they were talking about maybe get him in there a couple games before the playoffs to try to see if they can get him used to playing with them a little bit. And then Aaron Ekblad was suspended now for 20 games for taking a banned substance that they found. Yeah. Which he claims he took something for recovery, to try to heal up, and he didn't realize that it was a banned substance. He came up with an apology to the players, the fans, everything like that. But 20-game suspension for...
By the way, I never think that what people actually say publicly is ever the truth. Oh. I'm always like, no, that's just for PR, something else. Whether he knew about it or not, I don't know. But there's usually a shade of gray in what they come out and say. So what the shade of gray is, I mean, who really knows, right?
Well, there's a list of banned substances out there that we can find, right? Yeah. That we can find. So you're telling me that he couldn't know that list?
Or he didn't know what he was doing.
He just didn't. It could very well be. He couldn't tell him the truth the whole way. But
most likely not.
Regardless, he is suspended for 20 games for that.
Yeah.
So They're, so three of their main guys, well, including Brad Marchand, who hasn't played a game for them yet, are all out and probably, Ekblad will be out past the playoffs, a couple of games into the playoffs, so he won't be taking part the first couple of games. But when they all get back, we'll see if they put that line together.
Yep.
That'd be an interesting line, fun line to find out.
There's going to be some wet faces out there.
A lot of licking going on.
A lot of licking.
It's going to be an interesting line. Nobody's going to want to play against that line.
No.
All we're doing is fighting.
Yeah.
Fighting line, right?
Fighting and lipping off.
Lipping off, yeah. Yeah, being a general pest.
It'll work for him, though, I think. Yeah.
Being a general pest, yeah. The Ottawa Senators.
Yeah.
They're making a strong push. Like we talked about.
It's good to see.
Right?
Yeah.
How coming back from the Four Nations face-off.
Yeah.
And he is completely turned on another switch, right?
But it's not just him.
It's not just him. Absolutely
No.
not.
It's their whole team. Not. Their whole team is playing well.
Entire team.
Their goaltender getting, 40-some saves?
Yeah.
Against
Ullmark,
Detroit?
Ullmark? Fantastic. Yeah, they did get blown out pretty badly by Detroit, like play-wise, but they did win that game. Yeah. Because of Ullmark, though.
Yeah.
But, their whole team has kind of just found this groove.
Yeah.
And they're all playing for each other right now. They're all having fun. Josh Norris actually got traded off the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, Brady Tkachuk was pretty emotional about that because they were good buddies or whatever. So, but they did get Dylan Cousins in that trade. So that's a
and
big
that's a good asset for
big
sure.
Acquisition. He's been a big part of that lineup right now.
Yeah.
So, but they're in a 5-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Right now.
It's great to see. And to put that in perspective for a lot of people, I know that like right now, as of today, they have 75 points. And they're about, I think, 5 to 4 points ahead of the next wildcard spot. Now, there's quite a bit of separation there, especially because we're coming up on the latter end of this season.
Yeah.
And to put things into perspective, last year, the Washington Capitals were the last wildcard spot at 91 points. And then on the other side of it, Vegas at 98 points. So if you're saying you need to get 91 points, people who have 65 points, 64 points, with the amount of games left over, they have to win nearly all their games to get into what you needed last year for points.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important that Ottawa get ahead now, because even though there is the little gap of maybe 4 points that other teams, like I have it written down here. So Columbus has 70 points, Montreal has 69 points, Rangers have 68, Detroit has 68, and Boston has 68. Yeah. Those are the teams fighting for that last wildcard spot.
Yeah.
And on the other side, Calgary has 71 points. Vancouver has 71 points. Utah has 69. And St. Louis has 69. And the rest of the teams, it's pretty unlikely just because of the amount of games that they have left. And like I said, that division of 5 points it's really difficult to make up when you only have 15 games left to play. For example, Pittsburgh Penguins, their chances of making the playoffs, they have to win pretty much every single one of their games.
They do.
If they want to get above that threshold.
Yeah, which is almost impossible.
Almost impossible.
Almost impossible, unless you go on a huge run.
And then you don't want to go into the playoffs going on a huge run, because
you know what
more likely to lose.
Yeah,
right?
It seems to go that way all the time, right? So,
yeah. But that being said, what team do you think in the East will end up getting that last wildcard spot?
Wow.
Columbus, Montreal, Rangers, Detroit, or Boston? I have my own pick.
Yeah, that is a good question because all those teams have the potential to get in there, right?
Yeah.
So my pick would probably be, if anybody, it'd either be Detroit or Montreal.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think either Detroit or Montreal would be the two guys I think or two teams.
Yeah.
I think that would have probably the better chance of getting in there.
Yeah.
Just the way they're playing at the moment. Well, Detroit's not playing it, but I think it's just a little lull from them.
Yeah.
Right? They played so well, and then they dropped, I don't know how many is in a row now. Like
their last 10 is 3-7 or 3-6-1 or something.
Yeah, I think they had 4.
But they've been playing great.
Oh, fantastic!
That's the weirdest part. Yeah, and that's why they're one of mine. And the second one is the Rangers. I just think they're playing phenomenally as well.
Rangers are, yeah. For me, I feel the Rangers have a few more things to get over, or a few more hurdles to get over before they, I think, become an actual playoff contending team.
Yeah.
But that being said, the race is so close. Like any of those other teams have a slip up,
Yeah.
Even a slip up, they
Yeah.
have it just as equal of a chance to get in, right?
Exactly.
But if they continue to play the way they are right now, I think, for me anyways, it's either going to be Montreal or Detroit.
And for me, it's Detroit Rangers. So let's settle on Detroit.
So do you think Ottawa's almost securing a playoff spot close at this point?
Here's the thing. They have 75 points, if my memory serves. And the way it works is if you can go the rest of the season at a 50% win rate, they'll be there. They're clear.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think, they have like 15 games left, right? That's 15 points, 75. They'll be at 90 points. So if they go 50% for the rest of the season, they're in it.
Yeah.
So you can go through a lull, you can go through some wins, but these other teams, they have to get 60, 70% in order just to catch them.
Yeah.
Like 65%, let's say, in order just to catch them. And that's really, really hard to do.
Yeah,
It's not easy. Even if you go on a winning streak, there's too many games where these teams play each other, and that's why I don't think it's very possible, right?
Yeah.
Because there's too many games where Montreal is playing Detroit or Rangers are playing Columbus, and then both those teams aren't getting points.
Yeah.
Only one of them is, right?
Yeah.
Unless it's overtime, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, Columbus is another good one, actually. I didn't even think of Columbus. Columbus could be a contending team. Absolutely.
I do think they're going to slip up, though.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, they could. It'd be good to see them in there.
Yeah.
Right? It'd be really good to see them. I think everybody wants to see them in there.
Yeah. And that leads to the other side as well. Just really quick. Calgary, Vancouver, Utah, St. Louis, myself. I like what Utah has been doing lately. I like how hard they're trying. And these were guys where last week nobody really thought they even had a chance, and now they're in the running. So for me, it would be between, unfortunately, Utah and Calgary.
Yeah.
As much as I'd like to say Vancouver.
Vancouver's a whole nother issue right now.
Yeah.
They have more than just the JT Miller, Elias Pettersson problems. They have a lot more issues within that organization, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that is weighing a big time on their play right now.
Yeah.
So they beat Calgary the other night. They're tied with Calgary for the last final wild card spot, but the way they're playing right now, they're not going to be in it, which is unfortunate. But yeah.
So you think Calgary?
Out of those, if Utah keeps playing, although they lost their goaltender now, right? Connor Ingram, he went to player assistant program, so who knows when he's going to be back. But if Utah continues to play the way they might be Utah.
So what's your guess?
I'm going to say Calgary, honestly.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going to say Calgary.
So Calgary is the common one there. So you got it here, folks. West is going to be Calgary. East is going to be Detroit.
Yeah, I think so.
And if anybody else is curious, Ovechkin has gotten 886 goals.
Yeah, wow.
What is that? Eight left to tie, 9 to beat.
Yeah, 8 to tie, 9 to beat.
It's looking more and more like it's going to be this year.
It is going to be very close. Right
as
down
it's
to the wire,
getting more competitive, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, they still have 16 games?
15-ish, 14 to 16. I forget which one, how much they have.
So, yeah, it's becoming very close to the end, and he's coming very close to beating it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could be proven wrong this year.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll get there.
It's going to be down to the wire.
Yeah. Just a few more empty netters, and you'll have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, we'll see what happens here. It's coming down to the stretch, down to the final. A lot of teams pushing to get in, and it's going to be some very exciting hockey.
Yeah.
Thanks again for watching. It's been a pleasure. Over the last 1 year, we have now been doing this podcast, and the people who have continued to watch us and been a part of us for the last year, thank you very much. We really appreciate it, and we love all the support you have given us and everybody who's been continuously watching our stuff. We look forward to doing another year of hockey talk.
Or two.
Or 2 or 3. See how everything goes. But we'll continue on the grind. And thanks again for being a part. And thanks again for watching. Have a wonderful evening.
Go Leafs.